Road signs and traffic signals used in the Highway Transportation System, or HTS, ease and regulate the flow of traffic. All road users should be fluent in this language, which uses shapes, colors, and symbols to facilitate comprehension. A stop sign means you must stop at the white line before the crosswalk or before the intersection if there's no stop line painted on the road. Check that you may proceed safely after yielding to all road users that do not have to stop. When you see a yield sign, slow down and be prepared to stop if necessary in order to yield the right of way to other road users. A reculé, or wrong way sign, tells you that traffic is moving in an oncoming direction on this roadway. Entry is strictly forbidden. If you've already entered this road, pull over to the side and change directions as soon as it's safe to do so. A do not enter sign indicates that access for all categories of vehicles is strictly forbidden. It's either a one-way road or an exit ramp from a freeway. A railroad crossbuck is placed close to any level crossing. You have to slow down and check both ways carefully. The signal obliges certain vehicles, such as school buses, or vehicles transporting hazardous cargo, to stop whether a train is approaching or not. On speed limit signs, the speed indicated is the absolute limit and represents the maximum or minimum speed at which you can legally drive in this zone. Remember that these limits are intended for ideal driving conditions. The one-way sign designates the direction of the flow of traffic. They're posted at the near right and far left corners of an intersection or sometimes above the roadway. When you see a pass to the left, pass to the right, or pass on either side sign, you must drive around the obstacle or the dividing strip on the side indicated. The beginning of a one-way and two-way traffic signs let you know that at this specific place, the roadway is changing from a two-way to a one-way road, or vice versa. This obligatory maneuver sign, in Canada only, requires all drivers to proceed in the direction indicated or choice of posted directions. Prohibited maneuver signs indicate, depending on the direction of the black arrow appearing on them, that proceeding straight ahead, turning left or right, or making a U-turn is strictly forbidden. The days or hours when the restriction applies may be indicated on a tab below the sign that may also indicate which vehicles are exempted. A crossing sign indicates that you may cross the roadway at this specific spot. These road signs vary according to whether one is in Quebec, the rest of Canada, or the United States. An advance regulatory sign is designed to warn drivers of the corresponding regulatory sign ahead. When you see these road signs, you must slow down and be prepared to stop. The advance turn or curve sign, by the shape of the arrow, warns all drivers of what awaits them ahead. A recommended speed sign or tab may accompany the curve sign and suggest the maximum safe speed at which to drive under ideal conditions. A large arrow sign, when posted in the curve, warns of an especially dangerous point in the curve. An advance crossing sign warns the driver of the possibility of unexpected entries onto the road. The symbol identifies the types of users to expect. If these sorts of crossings are found in specific places, the driver will be warned of the distance to be covered before reaching the exact spot. Advance intersection signs warn drivers of the presence of a junction ahead and represent the situation graphically. The relative width of the lines illustrates the dimensions of the intersecting roads. Scan the road ahead and be ready to react to unexpected entries onto the roadway. Remember that passing maneuvers are illegal as you near or are in intersections. Special types of intersections may also be illustrated. A roadway narrows sign warns motorists of a reduction in the width of the road without a loss in the number of lanes. On the other hand, if the road sign indicates the loss of a lane, drivers must change as soon as possible to the lane remaining open. In all cases where the roadway narrows, it is prudent to adjust your speed accordingly. Divided highway signs warn of the beginning of a roadway divided by a median, the end of a divided roadway, or the presence of an obstacle that can be passed on either side. A two-way traffic sign completes the message concerning the end of the divided roadway. This sign may also be found at regular intervals as a means of reminding motorists that they are no longer driving on a divided roadway. Merging lane or merging lane reserved for buses signs inform you of the possibility that vehicles may join the flow of traffic by merging from an entrance ramp. An added lane sign is posted when the two roadways meet and merging maneuvers are not required. A parallel lane exists for the entering traffic. This signal warns drivers who are carrying out a passing maneuver of the distance separating them from the no passing zone. Hazard markers or a double arrow indicate the presence of obstacles in the middle or at the side of the road. Advance hill signs warn of a slope ahead. You should prepare yourself well in advance. Check your brakes by applying a light pressure on the brake pedal and prepare to downshift to the appropriate gear in order to take advantage of the engine compression on the downgrade. An icy roadway signal warns you that a road, bridge, or viaduct may be covered with ice or frost when the temperature nears the freezing point. A sign, including the word fog, has yellow lights that are flashing when there's mist further down the road. A bumpy roadway sign warns of a rise or depression in the roadway ahead. The pavement end sign warns of a change in the surface of the roadway ahead. You are advised to slow down before the change occurs in order to reduce any danger due to a reduction in traction. In the United States, a soft shoulder sign warns drivers that the shoulder cannot support the vehicle with any degree of safety. If you have to leave the road, proceed toward a paved area. A slippery when wet sign indicates a place where traction is considerably reduced when the roadway is wet. In such cases, you're advised to slow down. The windy conditions symbol warns of a section of the road where wind conditions may make driving difficult. You should slow down, avoid driving beside another vehicle, grip the steering wheel firmly, and be prepared to correct your trajectory as soon as it veers offline. Guide signs basically serve to direct drivers along picturesque roads, direct them toward cities, towns, or villages, identify rivers, streams, parks, or historic sites, and indicate the service areas available along the route. Route markers and highway signs are strategically placed to make it easier for travelers to reach their destinations. They identify numbered highways, include arrows indicating the direction to take, as well as numbers pointing out the distance to cover. On main thoroughfares, there are always at least 3 warning signs before an exit, which is itself identified by a yellow trapezoid. Adjacent service signs on a green background indicate the services available to travelers in the immediate vicinity along the roadway. In Canada, the type of service is specified by a symbol. In the United States, the square or rectangle is blue. Tourist information signs are placed along routes and freeways so as to direct tourists toward rest areas, identify service and recreation areas, and provide information concerning cultural sites. These signs with an orange background serve to control traffic when it must cross or deviate around road construction. A flag person ahead sign portrays a flagman and warns drivers of the imminent presence of a flag person who may slow or stop traffic. When you see speed limit or advisory speed signs, slow down to the limit imposed or suggested. Work site limits signs indicate the distance separating you from the road work in progress, the length of the work zone, and the end of this zone. A detour sign obliges you to bypass the upcoming work site. Conditions in the work site signs inform drivers about the type of work being carried out, the obstacles to expect, and changes in the number or position of lanes. Under such abnormal driving conditions, you'll have to reduce speed and scan the roadway more frequently and carefully. Markings painted on the roadway provide motorists with ongoing directions which are easy to follow. These directions supplement the information provided by road signs and occasionally warn of possible upcoming danger. Yellow lines separate traffic moving in opposite directions. A single broken yellow line means you can pass if the way is clear. A solid single or double yellow line indicates that there is no passing except under exceptional circumstances. Yellow lines made up of mixed double lines, for example, one broken and one solid, indicate that only vehicles traveling on the side of the broken line are authorized to pass. White lines are used for vehicles traveling in the same direction. These lines channel traffic and are designed to ensure road safety. They're useful in helping drivers exercise better control over their vehicles. White lines mark the right edge of the roadway. Stop lines delineate where drivers must stop their vehicles at red lights or stop signs. Crosswalks are delineated by an X by diagonal or perpendicular wide lines. Zebra stripes serve to guide traffic around fixed obstacles. These diagonal or slanted stripes indicate where vehicles may not pass. Arrows on the roadway designate the usage of the lane. Drivers must obey them. Parking spaces are established by white lines. White diamonds on the roadway, as well as road signs placed above or on the side of the road, designate the lanes are reserved for special vehicles, buses, taxis, carpools, high occupancy vehicles. Blue painted curbs reserve parking spaces for war veterans or for the handicapped. Traffic control signals, or lights, are valuable devices for the regulation and orderly movement of vehicular and pedestrian traffic. What do you do when the traffic lights aren't working?
That's easy. I stop and proceed as though I were at a four-way stop intersection.
And when you're at a red light?
At a red light, I have to stop at the stop line, of course.
Crossing on an amber light is a hazardous maneuver. It's highly recommended to stop. When the light turns yellow, you should stop. Does a green light give you the right to cross the intersection under any circumstances?
You've got to be kidding. I only cross the intersection after yielding the right of way to other vehicles, cyclists and pedestrians who've already entered the intersection.
A green or flashing arrow indicates that you may only drive in the direction of the arrow and only after checking for other traffic and yielding the right of way to other road users. This signal may accompany a red light. A flashing green light gives you the right to cross the intersection and turn in the proper direction. In British Columbia, a flashing green indicates that the lights can be pedestrian controlled. Overhead lane use signs control the use of lanes on bridges, in tunnels, and in places where the traffic may change directions. A steady green arrow pointing down indicates that you may use the lane under this signal. A steady red X indicates you may not use the lane under this signal. A steady yellow X indicates that you should be prepared to leave the lane under the signal in a safe manner. A horizontal yellow or flashing green arrow indicates the direction you should direct your vehicle to change lanes in a safe manner. In the United States, a flashing yellow X indicates the lane is reserved for left turns in both directions. If your vehicle is not equipped with turn signals, or if they're faulty, you must use your arm to convey your intentions. In any case, you may always use your arm to supplement your communication of intentions. This adds a personal aspect and can elicit a more positive response from other road users.